Hello, I'm Sherry. Welcome back to my kitchen. This is part 2 of making my Harvest Fire Cider. In part 1, I showed you how to make our Harvest Fire Cider and the benefits of each of the ingredients. Today I'll show you how to finish the fire cider. We're going to need, obviously, our half gallon of fire cider that has been infusing for about 6 weeks. We're going to need some sort of glass bowl. I prefer a measuring cup that has a pouring spout. We're going to need a strainer and some cheesecloth, some raw local honey, and some sort of jar that we can store our finished product. If I'm going to store it long term, I actually prefer to use amber bottles, and a funnel is super helpful. So our fire cider has been infusing for about 6 weeks now in a cabinet in a cool, dark place, and we have given it a gentle shake every day. Now, interesting, you'll hear some people refer to the process as fermentation, but that's actually not accurate. The acid in the vinegar actually inhibits a fermentation process, so it is infused and not fermented. And as you remember in part 1, and if you didn't see part 1, it'll be linked in the description box below, so go back and watch that and the whole process in which we began our infusion. But we use a piece of parchment paper with our jar so that the acid doesn't react to the metal lid and cause rust. Now you know you have a good fire cider when it has a very sharp, pungent aroma. It smells nice and herbaceous. You can smell the horseradish and the turmeric, and it's very acidic from the vinegar. Now, we're going to strain our ingredients here into our cheesecloth lined strainer. Very carefully. And I did want to go ahead and cover one of the questions that most often arises when people are making fire cider, and that is, why is my garlic blue or green sometimes? And I want to just assure you that is completely natural, and that it is actually the enzymes in the garlic are activated by the acid in the vinegar. It's completely safe to consume. So we're going to give our jar a shake. Well, in the process of my second video, the camera decided to turn off. So we're going to pick up where we left off. Once you dump all of your infused ingredients into your cheesecloth lined strainer, you're going to want to give it a good squeeze and get out as much of the liquid as you possibly can. And then we're just going to discard all of this. So we have a nice infused mixture here. There's one more thing I'd like to address too. You'll often hear people refer to fire cider as immune boosting, but in reality, you really don't want to boost your immune system unless, of course, your immune system is deficient in some way. We really want to have a properly functioning immune system, and so it's important that we use things to support that immune system, but not necessarily with the intentions of boosting it. We like to take our fire cider as a tonic. So in order to make it a little more palatable, we're going to sweeten it with some local raw honey. And for this amount, we have right at about 5 cups, or about 38 ounces or so of liquid here. So we're going to start off with about, all of my little measuring cups here, start off with about 1/3 of a cup of honey. Now this honey is nice and fluid, so it should be really easily mixed into our fire cider. If your honey happens to be a little thicker, then you'll want to put the jar over a bowl of warm water. don't heat it in the microwave because you don't want to, if you heat your honey over a certain temperature, you're going to lose the benefits of the honey. We just want to make sure that our honey is thoroughly incorporated. And then comes time for bottling. So like I said, for long-term storage, I prefer to use amber colored jars. But for the first batch that we're going to take, a plain glass jar is fine. So we're going to use a funnel. And we're going to very carefully fill our jars. Do hold your funnel up just a little bit so it doesn't get airlocked in the bottle. And just be careful not to overfill it or you're going to make a mess. And then we should have just about a quart left. Now just be sure to properly label your jars and with the date. And also, I'm going to use a plastic jar, just like when we were making the infusion. If you're going to use a metal ring lid, make sure that you put a piece of parchment paper underneath so that the acid from the vinegar doesn't react with the metal in the lid and rust it. So there we have it, our Harvest Fire Cider. These 2 bottles will probably last us most through the winter. And come January, I'll probably make another batch of winter fire cider, in which case when I do, I'll be sure to show you what ingredients I use that are different from the Harvest Fire Cider. It all has to do with seasonal ingredients. And this will last in the refrigerator for a year if it lasts that long, but for us it will not. If you have any questions about the fire cider, please be sure to leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And also keep an eye out in the next few days. I'll be filming a video showing how I make our elderberry syrup, which is also a delicious addition to our winter apothecary. And if there's anything else that you're interested in regards to herbal remedies, please leave it in the comments below too, and I'll be sure to get a video going on that. And there'll be lots more videos coming for this channel, not just related to apothecary, but related to all sorts of curated home type content. So if you're interested in that type of thing, be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. See you soon.